Hi, I'm Graham Alexander and I work for Electrify Marketing and Communications. I'm here to talk to you about building your brand. It is something that we do at Electrify for a multitude of clients in lots of different industries, and we love doing it. But you've got to think about your own personal brand. So, where should I start? Probably your online profile. Everybody has one, no matter how big or small. You probably have some form of website that has information about you on it, or social media account that has similar information. Now, this is the picture that you are building up of yourself for the world to view. This is the perception that people are going to have of who you are before they've even met you, potentially, maybe even seen you. So it is vitally important. If you're listening to this, you probably have a social media account or something online. Now, if you've got that, then the employers certainly have that as well. And over 60% of employers are now using social media and online profiles as a form of second CV. Now, that could be through LinkedIn or Twitter, or maybe even your Facebook or Instagram account. They'll just put your name into a search engine and up you'll pop, and they'll find out a little bit more about you than what they maybe knew already. So what information do you want them to know? That's what you've got to be thinking about all the time. Anything that you put online, you've got to be sure that you want other people to see it. So, I'm sure if you have a little think just now, back to the profiles that you have currently. Now, don't panic. There's no need to panic. It's okay. Have a think about what you've got just now. And I'm sure there's probably one example that will come up in your mind, whether it's something that you've commented somewhere, or maybe a picture or a video that you've shared, maybe reshared from somewhere else, that you possibly are now thinking, ugh, I shouldn't have done that. It's okay. Everybody does it. And it's something that you can go back and have a look at. The point that I'm trying to make today is, going forward, we're going to try and avoid these things. So I have some handy hints and tips that are going to help you through to build your online brand. So first of all, always keep it up to date. Who you are today is what is most important. And online is forever changing. Social media is constantly changing, constantly updating. We get news and updates like that. So there is no excuse for your profile to be out of date. Make sure it's relevant. It might be your qualifications. You might have got a new result or sat an exam a few weeks ago and got the results now. Get them on the profile. Make sure it's up to date. This is your highlights reel. My second point is keep it professional. Now, I'm aware I use social media to keep in contact with family and friends, people that I've known for a long time but possibly don't live near or don't see quite as often anymore, and that's totally fine. It's okay, we're all human, and that's part of social media, being social. But you want to try and keep it professional. So this is a mix of two things here. Accounts like LinkedIn and your Twitter have a bit more of a business angle to them, and also there will be some online groups that you're maybe part of that you should constantly try and keep a professional persona there. Your other profiles, if it's public, keep it professional. Make sure that you're giving off the best version of yourself every single time you're on that account and not making any little mistakes there. If you are worried about that, then lock down your privacy. You're sitting there saying, Graham, I already know that my privacy is locked down. No one can see the things that I don't want them to see. Well, what I'll say to you is, go and double check, because most people think that their privacy is locked down, but it's usually not. So double check those privacy settings and make sure that anything that you're not sure about is either taken offline or it's private. Now, this puts me on to my third point. Join groups that are related to the industry that you would like to work in. Now, the society that we live in nowadays, it's very, very rare that people will have a job for life. So I understand you may have multiple interests, and that's fine. But try and engage with people that work in the industry that you either are wanting to go into now or somewhere down the line. Learn about the industry through your own online brand. In turn, when an employer looks at your online brand, your online profiles, they will be able to see that you're engaging with people from the industry, that you have an understanding about elements of the industry, that you are keen to learn and engage. There is no harm in saying to somebody publicly that you don't know about a certain topic if the end result is you learn something new. Always be inquisitive. Push those boundaries online within the industry and find out more. Use this as a tool. Use your brand as a tool to find out more about the things you want to know for the industry that you're going to work in. Now, number 4, these things that you're constantly learning are also great to highlight. This is your highlights reel. This is the best bits. This is the place that you want to shout about the things that you are good at. So whether it's qualifications that you've gained, something new that you've learned, somewhere new within the industry that you've been and something new has been highlighted, shout about it online. Let people know that you are constantly engaging and hungry to learn about the business, the platforms and the area that you want to work in. You've got to be hungry. You've got to showcase your own best self. This is brand you. Make sure that it is who you want to be perceived as. Now, this point, at point number 5, it's quite straightforward. Provide a clear and concise overview of you in any little blurb sections that are there. Keep it to the point. It can be funny or have a little twist to it, but keep it to the point and provide contact information. I guarantee you, if an employer is looking at your profile, they either will want to get in touch with you or to be able to store that information that when they do need to get in touch with you, they can. So make it clear how to get in contact with you, whether it's email or phone or a direct message. Make sure that that option is always there for an employer to reach out to you. Number 6, friendly profile images. So what I mean by this is a lot of people will say you need a headshot, so pretty much framed from here to here and very businesslike. Well, I agree to a certain extent. It's quite appropriate for LinkedIn. If you look through most profiles, they'll have a picture of somebody sitting in a suit and a tie. But make it industry appropriate. So if you're an artist or a singer or you work in a different type of industry that maybe doesn't conform to a suit and a tie or a dress or a trouser suit, then make it appropriate to your industry, but make it user-friendly. So for LinkedIn and Twitter, maybe something a bit more professional, but for other platforms, then I understand you might want to have something that's a hobby or an interest of yours, and that's totally fine as well. But make sure that it is polite and industry-friendly. Now, here come the don'ts, and they're quite short, but I think they're very clear and simple, and they work across everything. Do not be obnoxious, do not be rude, and do not be offensive online on any of your profiles or anything that is linked to your name. This is you. So when you are commenting or engaging with somebody online, or you are resharing, constantly be thinking about, if I was in person, would I want somebody else to see what I am doing right now? Would I want them to read this comment? And if the answer or the gut feeling is no, then do not post it. I have a great analogy. Now, when billboards, which you see in the city centres, advertise something, that is somebody shouting about it. You've got to think of your brand, your online brand, as a billboard in the city centre where hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people will see what is on your billboard. And if it's you and you don't want to be seen as obnoxious, rude, or offensive, or anything that comes under any of those categories, then you will not be putting it on your billboard. Even simpler, every time you comment or engage or put something online or reshare something that's on there, think about it as if, would you want your granny to see this? Simple. If granny finds it offensive, then it doesn't go online, or don't make that comment. We've all got wound up at times online, engaging in a debate, but just hold back. Always think about what you're doing. It's vitally important. Now, I have discussed a lot of different things here today. Obviously, you can watch it back. But when you're building your own brand, constantly be aware of who you are and right now and who you want to be, where you want to work, the industries that you want to engage in, and think about what the other people that are already in that industry are doing. Go and look at what they're doing online. Have a look at their profiles and see what is interesting about them. Doesn't mean you do exactly what they are doing, but maybe you can take things and do it in a better way. That's what's exciting about having your own online brand. It's you. It's all about who you are and all the great things that you have to offer to a potential employer. You have the potential to be a brilliant, strong, outgoing, and loud online brand. This is the starting point to build it. We have covered off a lot today, but do not be overwhelmed. It's just you. It's talking about what you are good at. And if you do feel overwhelmed, which can happen from time to time, then seek out help. Talk to people. Engage with people, whether that's online or offline in the real world, that can give you help and advice. Reach out to people that work in the industry you're interested in, or like ourselves at Electrify, in an industry that is involved in building brands. And that's fine. Sometimes people need help and you need to reach out to get that. But this is brand you. Not brand new, brand you. Think about what you want to be perceived as, who you are, and how to project that out to the world. Remember, a highlights reel of all your best bits, qualifications, the things that you know, the things that you've done, where you want to go, and ambitions. Get it all on there. Go away now and have a look at your profiles. Get them tidied up, and let's see what your brand can be.